He teases, his sister especially. He thinks he's a great soccer player. He plays soccer and a bit of rugby as well. He tries to get out of homework and he loves to take photographs and make inventions. Do you want to see his inventions? He thinks he's excellent. Well, he is sometimes. He made this really, really great invention, and it's a watch, a clock. Only one little thing, he sort of dropped it, and, well, it sort of doesn't work very well. But he loves it, and that's important, and I love it, which is even more important. You can love it too. All right, now you can see my son is just like you kids. And you know, one day, because he's a great joker, he made a really dumb joke. And do you know what? The bullying started. Bullying just sort of started for no reason. It can start from anything, really. If you're tall or short, you've got a single mum or not. It can start if you've got freckles. Just any reasons. Kids do it because it's fun, because it makes them feel, you know, big and powerful. They do it because they don't get it. Bullying destroys other kids. It destroys your school. And it nearly destroyed my Jack. You know, the bullying got out of control for Jack. I can't believe it. You know, he started to get teased. And he tried to stand up. He really did. But it didn't work because more and more kids joined in. And you know, his friends who really like him, they started not to play with Jack because it was too dangerous. And they were scared. You know, every day my Jack had to go to school and he'd try to survive. He, you know, ignored the kids at first, but it didn't work. You know, they went for him. He'd race to the toilets, and he'd escape into the library. He tried to make it through the day. Jack should have told me, but he didn't. He should have told his teachers, but he didn't. You know, my Jack thought he could do it by himself. Well, you can't win bullying by yourself. I can't as a grown-up, and my Jack couldn't. But you know what? In the end, Jack won against the bullies. He won with the support of me, his school, teachers, friends, you, and most importantly, himself. And after he won, he said to me, "Mum, you can write that book, I Am Jack, so that the world's better and safer for all of you kids." I'd like to show you a trailer on I Am Jack. Hi kids. Well, I hope you liked that trailer, and I'm going to ask you to say no to bullying, because all you fantastic kids in New South Wales deserve to be happy in your school. It'll make you feel terrific. Now, I'd like to introduce you to someone else who's not only funny and talented, but a terrific author, Jenny Mortar.
I'm lucky last. I am the author who has a confusing number of names. I am published as J.A. Mortar, so that's how my fans know me. But to my friends, I'm Jenny, and to my kids at home, I'm Mum, and I answer to everything. Now, writing includes families, and families can be funny, families can be annoying, families can be really embarrassing. You will see or meet all those families and more when you read my books. But writing is an amazing journey, and I thought I might share a little bit of my journey with you. See, I really love to draw, and I thought I might be an illustrator one day, but it quickly became apparent that I'm not very good at drawing. But it was then with horror that I discovered if I was going to write the stories and be the author, that I would also have to sing. And if you have a look at this poster, it's meant to say author signing, but it says author singing. Now, I was the only child in year 2 who didn't make it into the choir, and singing filled me with horror. So I started to write, and I started to write stories that were funny. And the lovely thing for me is I could include my family in my stories. So here we have a picture of my dog. Her name is Bella, and here's Bella as she appeared on the cover of my book, Unleashed. And here's my daughter, Tully. She's a little ballerina. But then later on, Tully emerged on the cover of my book, Team Dream, playing a rugby player. So you see how I use family, my family, in my stories. Well, I have a new book coming out this July. It's called The Snuggle Bump Jump. Now, it's a picture book, and it's about a little boy who is so excited to meet the new baby that's growing in his mummy's tummy, a lot like what happened for us at home. Now, I don't really have a cover to show you, but last night at 1:15 in the morning, when I checked my emails, I did get an illustration sent to me. Now, I know you can't see that very well, but did you know authors are awake at 1:15 in the morning? So all these things go into story. The other thing we have at home is a toy box. So I'd like to introduce you to some of the characters that came into my stories from the toy box. Here we have a little fairy. She's called Fairy Fluff. Now, she worked at the Fantastic Fart Factory, where her job was to put the farts back into bottoms. Now, that was from a book called So Feral. But another book that we had, here's a character called Pete. And Pete came from a story called You Dirty Rat. And that was from a book called So Gross. But I don't just raid the toy box for my stories. I also went into my son's bedroom and raided his drawer, where I found this really cute little pair of undies with frogs on them. Now, they inspired a story called Jellyfish Undies, which is from a book called So Sick. So you can see I write stories about family, about everyone, but I'm not the only author who writes stories about undies. I'd like to hand over to Suzanne Gervais.
Well, I thank you, Jenny. I do have an underpants story, I have to admit. We all have stories we want to share, sometimes about underpants, but often not. And story comes from everywhere, from you, from me, from what we do, what we think, what we see. Don't you think, Jenny?
Yeah.
Oh, I think so.
Stories can be really funny. So, Suzanne, what's the funniest thing that's happened in your stories?
Well, the funniest thing is Jack's Nana. Jack's Nana, look, she's gorgeous. She loves cookies, and that's perhaps why she is short and wobbles quite a lot. But she is really famous because she is the world's best bargain hunter. And when she buys bargains, she gets very excited. And she doesn't buy one bargain. She doesn't buy two. She buys 10 bargains. And she came wobbling home with a cookie in her tooth, so we know she was at the bakery. But anyway, she comes home, opens her bag, beaming. She had found the cheapest underpants in the world. And you know why they were cheap? I'll show you in a minute. Well, only for kids who are really brave. If anyone here doesn't want to see Nana's underpants, please close your eyes. Because it is rude. I apologise, teachers. All right, for the brave, keep your eyes open. And this is what made us laugh. It was Nana's amazing underpants.
Thanks, Suzanne. Now from funniest to funnest. Laureen, what's the funnest thing that you've done with your stories?
The funnest thing I ever got to do was hanging down at the beach every day, watching the pro surfers compete and eating lots of food in the green room.
Now, sometimes children book creators can be a bit silly. So, Nina, what is the dumbest thing that you've done with your books?
Well, the dumbest thing that I've done with my books is let my daughter, who was 4 at the time, into my studio. She finished one of my paintings, so I'll never do that again.
But being a writer can be great fun too. So, Aleesah, what's the best part about being an author?
Well, one of the best parts for me, being a picture book author, is that my work gets illustrated by very talented artists. I'm not a very good illustrator myself, but when I write my stories and my books, they can be brought to life by brilliant illustrators and with beautiful paintings and drawings. So I think that is a wonderful thing to have.
And finally, a question for Jenny. Why do you write for kids, Jenny?
I write for kids because I love to write child characters and I love to spend my time with them. They become my friends. I play with them, I laugh with them, we go on adventures, so that all day I just get to be a big kid myself and I never have to grow up.
We want to bring you story wherever you are.
In the country.
On the beach.
At home.
In the garden?
In the city.
Everywhere!
Well, look, that's our show for today, and thank you so much for sharing it with us. It's very special that you've done that for the official launch of Literature Live. Now, this is going to be a fun and exciting new innovative project where you students and teachers get to interact and mingle with the authors, the illustrators and other students in classrooms around Australia. So we would love if you would join us and we see you soon. I'd like to say goodbye now to our wonderful presenters. Say goodbye to the warm and witty Suzanne Gervais.
Bye. Oh, sorry about that, kids.
To the dynamic Aleesah Darlison.
Bye.
To the incredibly talented illustrator Nina Rycroft.
Bye, everyone.
And to Laureen Crosdale from Surf School. And it's goodbye from me, Jenny Morton. If you have any more questions or you'd like to find out more about Literature Live, please come and visit us at our website. It's www.literaturelive.net. And we would love to meet you in our workshops. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.